Karl, it's great to be with you again for another musical conversation, and we're in the new co-working space of the Catholic Who's, which has a studio attachment to it, and
it comes
very
with
well
caffeine,
set up.
so it makes
It's
me
right, espresso, and
makes me happy.
Father Joseph Anthony is an excellent technician, and he's our support staff, which was great. And but we're here really to talk about the plan for a musical synod that we're going to have here at the parish in the next couple of weeks. And I think what we ought to do first is just get back in touch with what the word synod means.
I think that's a fantastic beginning.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about the origins of synod?
Sure. So a synod is a different thing than a council. A synod is when people get together and reflect on issues and concerns. So a synod is not necessarily designed to take a singular position or produce a document. But what a synod is a meeting of the minds, if you will, a brainstorming with the Holy Spirit on the concerns of the moment. Now, it may give rise to the work of a council, but it does not have a winner or a loser. It has everybody winning because of common reflection. And I do believe that Pope Francis asked us to look at the synods as a part of our practice to recover common reflection as an essential part of church life, which is really a counter to the tendency to devolve into ideologies. So it camps.
Yeah.
So a synod is a chance to get beyond that way of thinking and practicing.
I absolutely love that unity that you're kind of talking of there, and breaking out of silos, because one of the strengths of St. Thomas, I think, has been that we have such a diverse music program, but oftentimes those diverse musical communities tend to exist among themselves.
That's
and this
right.
is an opportunity for us to bring all of our not only musical communities but parishioners together in this discussion, in this moment of synodality.
That's right. And I think you've already set us up for that by the parish-wide choirs that you have generated for some of our major celebrations, and that's been a marvelous success and a real opportunity to integrate the repertoires into a woven liturgy that's very, very beautiful.
And those are some of my favorite moments that we've seen over the past years, when we have folks who are like, Rob Cordero, who's been with us for 30 years. We just honored him for 30 years of service, singing beside students who we only have for maybe 1 or 2 years.
That's right.
Who are coming in, and this amazing community that has formed. Yeah.
And that's what makes for a living tradition. And I think that's a foundational element of synodality right there, is that you're gathering to reflect on the concerns of the moment, in this case music, but you're doing it as inheritors of a tradition, of a living tradition in which you live and which you are handing on into a new time.
Yeah.
I think that's so very important. So what we're doing is really reflecting on parish music at St. Thomas Aquinas University Parish in 2022, where it is, 60 years after the council, and just the opportunity to draw on our local heritage, to draw on the documentary teaching of the church about music, and to weave that together into a practice that unites everybody, even though we have just diverse liturgical music programs. Is that fair?
It is fair. It's fair. And one of the things that we're asking is for everybody to bring their experience of sacred music to the table with them.
Yeah.
It's very easy to make sweeping statements about things that we think ought to be. in sacred music, or that we believe will draw other people into participation. But what we're really asking people to bring to this table, this discussion, this synod that we're having, is their experience with sacred music, because that allows us to gain so many more perspectives as we examine what it is that the church is asking of us, which ultimately is what God is asking of us, which is to sing to the Lord.
That's right. Mm-hmm. To enable us each to fulfill our baptismal duty of worshiping in common.
Exactly.
It's about the baptismal priesthood that all of us share, clergy and laity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, there's something about a synod, about a journeying together that speaks so well to music. Mm-hmm. Music in and of itself has to always be a journey together with another in some capacity.
That's right.
You have a composer who's journeying together with a sacred text that is being set to music. You have a director who's journeying together with a composer who they may never have met before,
right.
And bringing something to life. You have a director journeying with a choir journeying with a congregation.
And a building.
Which is so beautiful in this space, the human voice.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So it's a tremendous gift.
Yeah.
And so can you tell us something about the plan for this synod? What are the elements that you've structured into this so that we can journey together just for the next couple weeks?
Yeah, I'm very excited about the multi-phased plan of this particular synod. So it's not just going to be one moment. We're going to begin on October 14th at 7 p.m. with a kickoff event, mm-hmm. and that event will have some beautiful information that you're going to present to the congregation, as mm-hmm. well as a parish-wide hymn sing. What that means is that if there's a hymn that you haven't heard for a while that you'd love brought to the table, you get to just tell us, and we're going to do it.
That's fantastic.
And we'll all sing together for a little bit, followed by just a celebration together, a little bit of an Oktoberfest theme. We're going to have some pretzels and beer and root beer for the kids, and just have some community as we enter in. And that's going to be the kickoff on the 14th at 7.
That's great.
Followed by, beginning on the 16th, a series of one-time small groups. And this is really going to be, I think, the heart of the synodal process in this music synod for the church. At those small groups, which begin on October 16th, and we'll just keep adding sessions as needed as people sign up.
That's great.
At that 90-minute small group, we'll have an opportunity to really share our experience with sacred music and to begin to ask and answer questions that we all have of mm-hmm. one another.
That's great.
So I hope that people feel excited about that as much as I am, because I love talking to people about their musical experience, mm-hmm. especially if it's vastly different from my own.
It occurs to me that many people probably haven't done that before.
Sure.
I mean, put words around the music. See, I like this song or I don't like that song, mm-hmm. but to say I like these instruments or I don't like those instruments, but to actually talk about how music fits in to the experience of prayer and worship.
Exactly.
Is a maybe a new thing for people.
Exactly.
But a very important one, I think.
And I think that we all have different moments where music has done that, right. Elevated us into, helped us, assisted us in our prayer. And we'd love to hear what that looks like for the whole community.
Yeah.
So that's going to be going on beginning on the 16th. And then the third component, which I'm very, very excited about, is a survey of parish talent, which will be on the 25th and 26th of October.
That's great.
And all the survey of parish talent is you sign up for a spot and you come and you show us what you do. If you play an instrument, if you sing, if you happen to have a kazoo choir that we've never heard before, right? I don't think maybe, I don't know. Who knows? So come on out to the survey and bring your kazoo choir. Prove me wrong. No, but the goal of the survey of parish talent for me is that God has blessed so many people in this parish with varying types of musical talent and experience. And as we are putting together the music that will serve the liturgy moving forward, we really want to see what the treasure trove of gifts that God has put here at St. Thomas is, so that we can begin to craft liturgies that actually reflect
that's great.
The people of the parish.
So you're saying perhaps that some people might be surprised by the contribution they can make
Absolutely.
to the musical work of the parish.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
If you're excited about some type of musical instrument or type of song that you know how to sing, come show us. We want to know. Yeah.
So that we can take the information and really can take the development of the program, steps forward.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's a great thought. It
Yeah.
really is. So who do you think really ought to be putting this on their calendar? Who do we really need to in a particular way? Because everyone's welcome.
Absolutely.
But who in a particular way would you really want to challenge to say, make this a priority and turn out?
Sure. Father, I think that folks who are musical will probably view this as an exciting opportunity, and we welcome all of our musical friends to really contribute to this. Who I'd really love to challenge to sign up is those people who consider themselves not musical, those people who are not immediately drawn to sing to the Lord at Mass. Mm-hmm. I'd love to hear from them what we could do as a music program to open up the gift of sacred music to all of us who are all called to participate. Right? Sing to the Lord is not a suggestion in Scripture. It's a command that's given over and over and over again, and yet oftentimes we have roadblocks. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I hear people say, the Lord doesn't want to hear me sing. And to them, I always like to say, listen, the Lord gave you that voice. That's and if he's offended by it, he is the only one who can fix it. So
I know that very well. Yep.
So what we really want to see is everybody. You don't need to know anything about music to show up, or you can know 1,000 times more than I know about music and also show up.
That's really excellent.
Mm-hmm.
That's excellent. When we talk about it this way, it brings home something that music is not an add-on to the liturgy. Sometimes I think we act as if music is just something you use to sort of decorate Mass, and in fact, it's integral.
Right.
It's integral. It's because our response to God is not simply intellectual,
right?
But it's designed to be a capturing of the affective part of us and bringing it into a common effort.
It's an outpouring and an expression of our worship in a very beautiful way.
Yeah, that's right.
It is in and of itself another language that we have the ability to speak even without knowing that we know how to speak it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, the little tag is to sing is to pray twice. So
yes.
There's a reality to that too.
I selected my confirmation saint, St. Augustine, for that very quote because I thought it would be efficient. It turns out he's cooler than that, but that's why I chose it.
Oh, very good. Well, listen, it's a pleasure as ever, and thank you for taking the time, and thanks to Father Joseph Anthony for being our tech. And thank you for the hospitality at the Catholic Who's co-working space.
Thank you. And thank you all for listening. And I hope to see you at the Synod. This weekend is when the signups are going out. And you can sign up for a small group and also for the survey of parish talent.
Terrific. Thanks again, Karl. Mm-hmm. God bless now.